that we had. I thought that Instagram had changed the algorithm so that we could go like 4 hours, and they must have updated it somehow. Anyway,
That's new to me. Whatever. I know you got to ask your fetish question, and you never
that's
did.
right. That's what I wanted to get into. Well, let's do that then. We'll go right into what's with your fetish. What's with your weird ass, creepy fetish? Why don't
Okay,
you explain it to us?
I'm gonna just caveat. Bob calls it a fetish. I call it self-improvement.
That's what every fetish is. Is it some
It's
self?
every fetish is self-improvement. I do not agree with that statement. Not at all. That's treading in dangerous water right there.
Exactly.
Hey, but I will acknowledge this, and I will tell you kind of where it came from and where it started and all this. So, like I mentioned in the previous hour of podcast, picture you're a plumber, you're an electrician, you're an HVAC tech, and you've been doing it great for 10 years. You've been working your way up. You're at the top of your game. You're a master. Somebody comes in and says, you can't do this anymore. See you later. You got to find something new.
Yeah.
As much as I'd like to say, like, buck up, pal, get it going. It really affects people, and it affects people mentally. Like, to just be told, like, all that information and all that time you spent, yeah, it's not worth anything anymore. Right.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I was in like a dark place, but I was very much in a place where kind of lost on like, how can I get a progression back up? Right. Like, I don't want to be, this is going to sound bad. Like, I don't want to be a maintenance tech for 10 years and then be a building operator for 10 years and then maybe get into a supervision role by the time I'm like 60. You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't want that. I didn't want that when I got into oil and gas. Like, I was in my early 20s. And I'm like, I want to be running my own crews. I want to be taking care of this stuff. 6 months into it, I said, is this all we do? Because I'm gonna quit. This is boring. And they're like, oh, there's lots we can do. We'll put you on the bigger stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I started progressing. Yeah. So some of the Jordan Peterson quotes or Jocko Willink or whoever that you might find on my Instagram videos, it's messages that I think might help somebody else. And that's why I include them, because they helped me. So even there was one on TikTok that got 2 million views like instantly. And it was me fixing a curb stop, which is those blocks of concrete that prevent cars from like hitting poles or sidewalks or whatever.
The dumbest thing ever.
Dumbest thing. There's so many more videos which are far technically superior,
right,
in content value than fixing a curb stop, right? But no, anyway. I've had this discussion with some other people. I'm like, the stupidest videos I make get the most views and the most interaction, and I never will understand.
Just let me check, because I did the one where we pulled that freaking spatula out of the drain, which is like a 4-second, 5-second video. It got like 4 million views and it's 4 seconds of like, what the hell is this? And then I'm like, okay, now this is how this works, and it gets like 17. I'm like, whatever.
I don't even bother trying to understand it. I just kind of absorb it or whatever. Like, just take it in. Like, this is what's happening. Okay, whatever. But so it was fixing a curb stop, and I believe the quote was, and I chopped it up. So it wasn't necessarily like he said these words in a direct quote. It was more like, 10 seconds from here, and then 5 seconds from here, and 5 seconds from here. And
you can't tell any fibs because the wife is on. Is that Krisky?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's Kristen.
Okay, so she's watching you, man.
So it said something like, if something announces itself to you, which is a strange way of looking at it, as in need of repair that you could repair, then hey, fix it.
Yeah.
And that quote to me, like, just sparked something inside me and was like, I don't know why those specific words did it. But it was like, yeah, I can fix that. 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 I need to learn how to fix that. It just really took me from a place when I was in building operations, just getting into it, to like start just taking off. Right. And so it really helped me that way. And then leading into more of his more self-improvement type of lectures, and then branching out into other people listening to their podcasts. Like Jocko Willink's a great listen if you've ever listened to him.
Yeah.
It just helped me. So then I started making videos with those kind of quotes in the background. And then I got hooked onto what's known as meaning wave, which is the music with the quotes that I heard sometimes. So this guy, Akira the Don, you can find him on various social media platforms. He's basically, he has the stranglehold, and he was like the pioneer of this type of genre. And I don't really like a lot of new music that comes out. Like Ronnie Dunn had a new album that came out, which I think is pretty good. But like, I love hip hop, but nothing after like 2005. Like I just don't like it. I just don't like a lot of the new music. And this meaning wave stuff was something that I really took a grasp to, I guess.
Yeah.
Tell somebody, like, if I said like never gonna give you up, what would be the next line?
I'm not gonna say it.
Okay, but you know it.
I do know it
because of music, putting it in your mind, and you can remember things from like 20, 25 years ago, and it's like bang, right?
Bang.
So listening to these type of inspirational or motivational or just lessons on life, I guess you would say, to music, having music accompany it stays in my head better.
Yeah.
And some people like I love the Jocko Willink stuff because it's like he's so direct, and it's something that I appreciate about some of your stories. Like, shut the F up and go to work. I think somebody said that, or you can learn something new every damn day, and if you're not doing it, you suck.
You suck.
Right? Like things like that. Like Jocko's is like, how can I stop drinking drinks with sugar? Stop drinking drinks with sugar. Like that's the solution. Like there's no beating around the bush, right? And that's very much my personality. So I respond to this stuff very well as well. So that's why if you come onto my page and you've never been and you're like, man, this guy's got like 40 videos with Jordan Peterson in the background. Like, what is going on? What is this fetish that is going on here? That's what it is.
I just did it for the salacious, just to say it. It's some, I don't really think
it's clickbait, right? You can put this in a 15
that's right.
reel. Well, just
I can't do
fetish.
I can't do thirst traps or anything like that. So you got to use,
fetish traps.
Got to use word traps. Yeah. Fetish. Kind of what are they talking about?
And one of my things, like personally, like I've been making videos of my work, and I've never shared any of my oil and gas ones because I just don't want to. But I've been making videos and stuff just for like the guys who were on the crew and friends or whatever since like early 2000s. So it's something that I always did. I enjoyed doing. I don't want to do it as a job because I enjoy doing it. I just want to do it as a leisure activity, right? So what my goal with it is either to take a verse out of one of those songs or a piece of a lecture that I found and to never repeat it again. So this excerpt is for this video, and that's it.
Oh,
and
cool.
What I really don't like about the social media right now, and like TikTok has started it, and even Instagram, is 1,000 videos with the same 15 seconds of a song I don't like.
The trending audio. Every time the trending audio comes up, I'm like, no, I'm gonna think of something that I enjoyed, not what 10 billion people. This is cool. Yeah, I'm sure it is. But
and more often for me, I'll get so sick of hearing it.
Yeah. You're
gone. You're gone. I'm not gonna acknowledge it. I'm not gonna like it. I'm not gonna look at it. Yeah. So I just trying to do something that I like, that's different, that I enjoy. And
imagine.
Yeah.
Doing what you want to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah. If you ask Chris,
it's a fetish.
What's that?
Chris, it's a fetish. Doing what you want to do when you want to do it. That's the new fetish.
That's the new fetish. If you asked Kristen about my personality, like he does what he wants to do when he wants to do it. Like that's kind of something I'm working on as a person. But yeah, that's totally. You're more committed to it when you want to do it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
So that's that. Like in a nutshell, it doesn't matter what you do. Like if you're playing goalie and you never grew up playing hockey, like if you're committed to it, you're gonna do it we'll see what happens at the end of 37 games. But I'm gonna do this season, right? So
You're gonna have to wear more than knee braces, man, to rev hockey after 37 games of. Isn't that if we go with professional goalies? Like that's not. I mean, that's not starting minutes, but that's not backup minutes either. You're right in the middle, right?
yeah,
Some of
like
those professionals play like
compare it to like
16, 20 games a year.
It'd be like a
right?
college season, yeah.
Yeah.
But the other thing is hours, right? Okay, so we play like hour and a half ice times.
Yeah.
So for every 2 games that I'm skating, it's actually 3.
Right.
Right. So like the hours of, so it's like 37 games at a 2 to 3 ratio. So I'm probably up to like, 70 if you think about it for ice time. I mean, yeah, I know it's like a 40+ league and everything, but still I'm drenched. Like I'm polishing off 2 water bottles a game. No problem. Like just,
I've never played it. I mean, I've obviously played hockey, but I've never played goalie.
mm-hmm.
Is it demanding because you're wearing so much equipment? Like you're not moving very far, but you're moving constantly, right? In a sort of a rectangle space, doing your thing.
You have your crease and you're switching and shuffling to different angles. And I think a lot of it is because you're moving with all this gear on top of you.
Yeah.
And you're reacting to what's happening. Like if you want to compare it to like a tennis player, like they hit the ball, they see the ball coming, they go over there.
Yeah.
Well, here, like the puck's coming down and then they pass it this way and then they pass it this way and then they drop pass to this guy. And you're constantly like following it. Yeah. And like, if you look at how much I sweat there, the smelly laundry says, yes, it is perfect. If you look at how I sweat compared to reffing and compared to goaltending, I'm way more. Like I'm exhausted at the end of those games. Yeah.
Are you any good at it?
Not bad. I play more of like the older stand-up style.
Yeah.
It kind of throws people for a loop because they're like, this guy isn't dropping on his knees to butterfly the whole time. So they'll shoot it low and I'll just boot it to the side of the rink. And they're like, what the hell is that? Right. But yeah,
that's the difference between the new guys. Like you say, I remember the old kick saves watching. Boop, boop.
Yeah. Like why go through all the effort to drop and have it bounce off my pad if I can just turn my skate sideways and have it hit it and go that way? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm not.
You can't be that bad if they book you for 37 or they're just desperate.
Yeah, no. Well, you always want goalies. You always want goalies. But yeah, it's I'm okay at it. I mean, like it's the, what do you call it? Athletic side of me, I guess.
Yeah.
So
no, that's awesome. I think that's key. Finding something that that you can exert some of your frustrations and stress out on. And manifest that in a physical way.
I got a quote for you on that. It's from Alan Watts, and it came from a song. Okay. Do what is meaningful to you.
There you go.
Yeah, and it's just that line right there. Yeah,
that's it. That's cathartic and therapeutic and wonderful way to live your life. Do what's meaningful to you, right?
Yeah.
Despite the craziness of Instagram or the world, and like find your path and go for it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's this sort of started as a hobby because of the pandemic and everything like that. But I've met some amazing people. Like I met you through Instagram. I met Chris through Instagram. I met so many people who've helped me too. And even some people that are in different occupations, but something that I deal with, like either an HVAC tech or a plumber or electrician or whatever. And I never would have met those people without it. So
no.
Yeah.
The benefits far outweigh any of the downside of it. And I can say the exact same thing. I've literally met, 50, 60 people that I would now consider my friends on some level. Freaking turbos over, sleeping in my basement, 2 weeks out of the year.
Yeah.
And just, there's nothing other than just conversation like we're having here about what's going on in the world, what we have, what we share in common, what we don't. It's a fabulous thing if you use it properly, I would say, for sure.
Yeah, I would say it's like anything, like do it correctly. and it's going to benefit you, and don't do it correctly, and you can spiral out of control. So, yeah.
And you're obviously doing it correctly if you're sponsored by the Rigid Home Depot side of things, the orange Rigid, right?
Yeah, like that kind of came out of nowhere too. I'd always been using Rigid power tools and showing them off in my videos, and like, this is what I'm doing. Well, I don't have Makita, I don't have Hilti, I don't have Milwaukee. Like, this is just what I have. So then it just kind of like a relationship grew out of it, and they were like how many of those do you have? Like, what is going on? Like, yeah, I have a lot. Like, but I also have tools for my carpentry business, right? So we have a tool trailer, and it's got everything in it. Like, I don't have to take anything from my house, anything from my van. So it's got all that stuff there. And my van has what it has. My house has what it has. So the relationship kind of grew from there. And then, they said, we'd like you to produce some content and do some unboxings, reviews, just basically do whatever you're doing. And would you like to try out our new latest, greatest of this? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. I'll try. Why wouldn't I? So,
send it on over. I'll let you know.
Yeah, exactly. And if it's a piece of junk, like, I'm probably going to let you know about it.
Have you found a piece of junk yet? Have you thrown something in the garbage yet?
From Rigid?
Yeah.
Okay, so one drill from 2004 has failed to complete, and I couldn't get it repaired.
Yeah.
I've melted a reciprocating saw that they repaired, no charge to me. An impact driver, grinder twice. I'm on my third cordless nailer.
Oh, yeah.
But all of this has been covered under that lifetime service agreement, so it hasn't been any additional costs to me. So that was the big thing. Like, when I got into power tools, was Rigid Red has a lifetime service agreement, right? As long as you're not mistreating their tools, they'll cover it. And they transferred that to the Rigid power tool line, and I was like, well, that's freaking great. Like, I'm all about that. I can't be spending, like, I look at the Milwaukee brushed 6 tool set, and it's like $900. I'm like, wow. And they're like, yeah, but it has a 5-year warranty. And I'm like, well, what happens on year 6 when everything fails?
Yep. Which it does.
Now you're spending like $1,200 because of inflation and all this other stuff. So I just, that's why, like, if people ask me, like, why did you choose Rigid? It's because of the Rigid Red relationship and them transferring that lifetime service into their power tool line. Yeah. And then if like, maybe you don't, but maybe a listener doesn't, like, TTI, who owns Milwaukee, makes power tools for Emerson, who owns Rigid. So TTI makes Milwaukee, Rigid, and Ryobi power tools. Yeah. Like, all 3 of them, right? So, yeah. Of course, there's little differences here and there on quality of brushes or quality of motors and switches and all that stuff, obviously, because of the different price points. But, it's and
that's like, if you look at all that stuff, like you say, that collaboration, or the fact that people are buying everybody up here, is a real thing, right?
Yeah.
Like there's, I was talking to, there's 2 manufacturers of copper fittings, right? So you can, there's a million, there's not a million, there's like 10 different brands you can buy, but there's really, when you get down to the, you go up the chain enough, you're either buying from Bob or you're buying from Viktor. That's literally what you're doing.
Have you ever researched, I found it very interesting, and it's totally left field. Have you ever researched manufacturers of campers and travel trailers? If you're
that is out of left field. No.
Look at that, because it goes from like the 5, and the way that it branches down, it just, like, you're like, oh my God, like, it is from 5 manufacturers to hundreds of different brands and stuff, and where they're made. And it's just like, wow, like, why are you wasting all this time on this? Like, instead of making the same travel trailer for 13 different manufacturers, just make like 2. Yeah. Like, Alberta's huge into travel trailers. You drive down the highway anywhere, you see all the lots everywhere. But it's the same type of thing, like with hand tools, power tools, all that kind of stuff. So I thought the similarity, but the extremeness of travel trailer manufacturing was absolutely crazy.
Yeah, everybody wants, and like you say, everybody wants their own little unique spin on it. So, like, well, we'll use these 3 parts and one from there, and this is why we're the best type of thing, right? And it's the same. I was looking at. It's like everything. I was looking at phone. I was looking for a phone case for my phone, and there's like 18 rows of Apple cases, and there's like one peasant, row of Androids. I'm like, and I, used to use the Blackberries back in the day, and there was like 5 or 6 different phone manufacturers, and now there's 2.
Yeah.
Right. Legitimately, you can get some stuff online or whatever the case may be, but.
Yeah, you remember like the blue Nokia brick phones?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do. I have one.
Yeah, like you wouldn't see anything like that now.
No.
No. Nokia?
No.
Oh, there you go. You got something special. You got the Nokia. And it's like the flip phone. What was that?
The Razor?
The Motorola Razor. Yeah.
Razor, yeah.
Yeah, Motorola. Like Motorola is road radios to me. Like that's what Motorola. They're not cell phones. Like, yeah, it's all just
Gone crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Any parting words of advice? Any messages that you want to send to your wife since she's sending you? Clearly, you don't throw anything away, just so you know.
Yeah, I've seen there's always a use for something. Even just that latest post I did where I covered the barometric relief hood with a cut off piece of a hail guard that I was making. Like it was just spare metal I kept in one of the storage areas of one of our buildings. Was like, hey, I can use that. Let's go. So yeah. I guess parting words to anyone listening to this is if you find yourself in a tough spot, and it could be career wise or life wise, just look for I don't know if I could say this, look for coaching, but there's help out there, whether or not you want it from a specific person or you just want to find things that can help you. Like I look at it like a sports team. Like the coach is there to get the best out of people. And if you don't have anyone that you can talk to physically, or you just don't like that, like you don't like talking to people physically in person, read some books or something. It could do wonders. So
the resources are almost endless of what you're never, and frankly, because of social media, I don't think anybody's truly ever alone. Like if you need something, that it's a text away, video call away. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Lots of people talk about mental health and how men handle all that stuff. I'm not ready to tell everybody to break down and explain all your problems and burden other people with those, but there's certainly opportunities and places that you can deal with those hard times, and having been in this trade for 35 years, that hard times are always coming. And there's a few in the rearview mirror, and I suspect there might be 1 or 2 in the future, but it's the community support is fabulous. And so anybody that's watching this or listening to this, reach out. We'd be happy to have a conversation. And like I learned something today listening about the systems and operations side of things, that how it's different from power engineering and the support that you get out of it.
Yeah.
That it has its own entirely capable and fulfilling system to help you transition from basically a 12-year career in the oil field to what you're doing now, which appears to be varied and fulfilling and satisfying.
Yeah. It's like that. You'll remember this phrase, like life is suffering. So what are you going to do about it? Find something that makes it less suffering. Like,
yeah,
that's pretty much. I'm pretty private person, like as far as certain things go, and I don't talk about a lot of things, but when it comes to finding something to do that you enjoy and that you're progressing at and good at and contributing to society and doing things well that way, like I'm 100% open to talk about that stuff for sure.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's awesome. I appreciate you coming on, big man.
Yeah, it was fun.
And I look forward to seeing you in the real world here and there.
Yeah.
Say hi to your lovely bride, and hopefully she's doing your laundry for you for your beginning of your 37-game stretch of goalies.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at my laundry pile down in the basement here. I think I got one more game ready of undergarments and everything, and then I got to do a load of laundry. So, yeah.
I suspect you got your work cut out for you.
Yes. Yeah.
It was a pleasure, man. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah. Thanks for having me in the barn. I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I appreciate it. Good luck out there.
All right. Thank you. We'll talk soon.
We'll chat soon.
Cheers.
Bye for now.